Okay, guys, today I'm here with my pops, and we're answering some questions that I frequently get asked since I moved here to South Africa. Dad, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? This is Darren, Buckner Family Travels. I am the guy who probably started it all, this whole venture thing, and how my son and my wife, and even the dog, how we end up in Africa.
Okay, Dad, I'm going to be reading from my comments, and the first question I have for you is why did we move here to South Africa?
I mean, it's a lot of reasons why. You said this is the first question? Oh, man. Actually, I just, it's really more about you than me. A lot of people don't understand, but
Mm-hmm.
me, I thought about my family. I think about future legacies and whatnot. And it gets kind of serious. So I'm not sure if your crowd's ready for that, but we'll talk about it anyway. Well, first of all, I grew up in America and I watched my dad and my granddad grew up in America. And I didn't really see a change. I grew up in America, and yes, we've done well for ourselves. So I don't want to, discount what we've done in America and what we've accomplished. And I'm talking about my generation as a family. But sometimes it's not enough. When I say we've done well, we made a few bucks. Maybe more than the average.
Mm-hmm.
And but the treatment was the same. And even though we came out of the civil rights era, I remember growing up in the 1980s, and heck, I was on the bus, the DSEG bus. So it's funny, being in South Africa
Hold on, would
because
you mind explaining what the DSEC bus is for some of the people that are from here?
okay, we call it a DSEG bus. It's desegregation. Just like South Africa had apartheid, of course, we had segregated during the civil rights. Now, it was well, kind of during South Africa at the same time. We were kind of going through it at the same time. It's just South Africa. They apartheid ended for them in the 90s. Believe it or not, I was in high school in the 90s. Matter of fact, I was out of high school. I graduated in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember us as Americans, students in high school, marching, and I remember us going through the hallways yelling black people, black people." We was really shouting for the South Africans. That's what it was about because we were against apartheid. So it's always young people, of course, and no matter what nation, what country you go to, it's always the young people that are always those people that come up front. Not that the older people don't, but the older people did their part, and then the young people have to finish it. And I think at that time we were just helping, any way we could. And that was our way of helping by protesting, walking out of classrooms and stuff like that. And I just, as far as moving to Africa, I just like, I still see what's going on in the United States. And I wanted you to have an opportunity to see something different. Because maybe a local South African might not feel the same way because they might, so I don't want to discount what they have to go through. But a lot of times, they will think, oh, America is better because they'll see opportunity and employment and stuff like that. But they never show the other side of America. As a matter of fact, if you watch videos, Malcolm, think about it if you were a South African and you watching videos of Americans, Black Americans. In most cases, you wouldn't have any idea. Malcolm, you've seen the neighborhoods. You haven't always grown up in those neighborhoods, but we're in St. Louis. Right. There'd be people. What I don't want to say names because people know us really, but they eating potato chips and calling it food and calling that their dinner, and that was right in the neighborhood. And these are kids your age or older, and like when they say that's their dinner, they were serious. And if it wasn't for them getting government assistance and food stamps and housing and stuff like that paid for and a check for each kid they have or something like that, they wouldn't have any money.
Right.
And I didn't want you to have to, I knew you weren't going to have to be there, but I wanted you to be able to see something bigger. One advantage, a big advantage that I'm gonna talk about Black South Africans right now. Mm-hmm. And I know I got other people following my channel because this is on Buckner Family Travels too. So anybody, if you're on Buckner Family, if you follow Malcolm, you could probably go to Buckner Family Travels. We have a family travel channel where his Malcolm's sisters they post a little bit, not as much, but they travel a lot too. But they're both older than he is, and like I said, we got different kinds of folks, but I'm talking primarily to Black folks because that's who I could relate to. A lot of times it looks like, I guess, we got it going on. But Malcolm, you know yourself. In America, you might have had it going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about your friend?
Mm.
I mean, would that be a fair assessment?
Not at all.
No, when I say fair assessment, I'm talking about would that be a fair analysis comparing you?
Me and them.
Because some of your friends, they didn't have anything. Am I right?
Right.
And they struggling. And a lot of times people overseas think that we just all got it going on, but it's only some of us. And that's really mostly what we see on TV. And then the ones who aren't doing good, they only show the criminals.
Right.
I know that was a long answer, man, but
extremely.
No, I know. But the question you asked, Malcolm, it's so much bigger than what you could put in a video in 15 seconds. I know that's the attention span of most people now.
Right.
But you can't really explain that in 15 seconds of something that happened over since slavery, or since colonialism, apartheid in South Africa, or the civil rights movement in America. You can't explain that in 15 seconds. It's not going to happen.
Okay. Are you ready for the next question?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, the next question is, what do you think about the people living here in South Africa? How do you feel about the people?
I don't feel any kind of way, really. I mean, I accept them as, I look at them, they just like us, man. As a matter of fact, I feel good because most of the time when I walk up, unless I open my mouth or I'm wearing a USA shirt, they start speaking to me in Zulu or whatever, their local language, because they don't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? So I feel at home most of the time. I feel at home because I'm like, I kind of like that. I like the whole idea that somebody can speak to me in their native tongue and already assume that I know it, because what that does is I'm not a black man. I'm just a man. And that's the big difference. So as far as the people, I love it. I love it.
Okay. What is your opinion on the schools so far? What do you think of the school system here? And especially the first languages, the additional languages that the students have to take.
Ooh, now you asked me a politically loaded question.
You don't have to answer if you want to skip.
No, I'll answer it because, I guess it's just part of the system. And it's no different in America. We're forced to take foreign language also, except the only languages you're generally forced to take, Spanish or French. Exactly. Even though it's not even a lot of people who speak French. But if they're the ones who set up the schools, it only makes sense. It's not like they have to teach us English, because if you black, white, or wherever you're from in America, English was forced upon you from birth. That's all you knew, because you weren't allowed to speak another language, and we're talking about great-great-grandparents, of course. They weren't allowed to speak another language. So, yeah, that's the only language that's spoken. As far as here in South Africa, all I can say, I guess, is the same thing, man. It's like, they probably just don't have a choice. I think it's, what are the two languages they force?
Afrikaans or Zulu. You have to usually choose one. Or French sometimes.
If I had to be frank and honest, I would understand Zulu more. Okay. But if I had to guess, and this is just my age talking and experience, Afrikaans is taught because it was forced. Zulu was only taught because they had to make it kind of fair.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, if it were just Zulu, I would understand. I think Ibrahim Traore up in Burkina Faso, I think I heard somebody, he outlawed French to be taught to kids because he's like, the French not here anymore. He kicked them out. So, he said, y'all got to speak y'all native language. And these are all political moves. So like I said, I'm speaking of age and experience. This is all political. This is political stuff you're talking about here. But why the languages in the schools? That junk is political, man. That's some serious stuff.
Right. Next question is, this is a more silly question that sometimes people ask every once in a while.
Okay.
Especially when I first got here. They ask, what does your father think about your hair?
I ain't never liked his hair. But at the same time, I mean, what am I gonna do? If he like it, I love it. I mean, I just got to go by that philosophy. If you like it, I love it. I wouldn't wear mine like that. But no, if it was up to me by myself, he probably wouldn't have no hair. He wouldn't have no hair. It'd be shortcut, straight to the point. But you know what? The reason why I try not to even get in that, Malcolm, is because I think even that's a construct. And I had to learn that even as I got older with you growing your hair. Yeah, I'm thinking that's a construct of something that was forced upon us. Mm-hmm. Even though if you go to our ancestors, and even people right now, if you go to Jamaica, if you go to other parts of the Caribbean especially, or even different parts of Africa, it's not uncommon for men to wear their hair long. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, as far as a lot of them are concerned, you're supposed to wear your hair long. You're supposed to let it grow out. Mm-hmm. So if I had to be honest, I know that was something that was put into my brain, a sort of a brainwashing. That you're supposed to have your hair neatly cut, and otherwise it's considered unkept. But
unkept, dirty.
Yeah, and really your hair not dirty. I know you don't have your hair dirty, so that's why it's like not much I could say. Mm-hmm.
What other countries besides South Africa were you considering?
I wasn't really. I did consider Ghana, but if I were going to say one I really considered, it would have been Kenya. Yeah, Kenya. I like Nairobi. That's why. Nairobi.
Just because Nairobi?
It's Nairobi, baby. Nairobi's on fire. Huh? That's a great city. It's a great place. I find a lot of expats there. English, they speak a lot of English in Kenya. And the city is progressive. It's very progressive. Johannesburg is more comfortable. I'll say that, but it's only more comfortable because the infrastructure. And when you come from an infrastructure like we do in America, it's just easy, so it's a soft landing spot for, I think, an African American. But, of course, well, I don't know if your fans know that, or your followers, however y'all call it. I don't know if they visit, or if they know you've been to Uganda, you've been to Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania. So you've been a little bit all over the place. But, we like South Africa. It's comfortable. It's nice to be able to walk in the big fancy malls and go to the bank like you want, and go to the grocery store and get what you want, and come back home and turn on your air conditioning.
Yeah. What was your reaction to your son being all over the internet?
I wasn't really surprised, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I wasn't surprised because I know where you come from. I know. I mean, it's kind of who we are. So this is not anything new. I mean, you got cousins that you don't even know that are literally famous singers around the country, even around the world. There's songs here that they know, they don't even know. That's like your third cousin. Mm-hmm. Christmas songs and stuff. So being on television, being in front of the spotlight, it's not that big of a deal. Your sister, look at your sister, your middle sister, Kira. She's always on something, and she's a dancer. Matter of fact, I think she's a ballet head over a school. So I mean, it's not uncommon. And then if you think about your eldest sister, Selena has been a leader when she's in the Air Force and all that. She was always in charge. So it's just, and me, I mean, heck, that's all I've ever done. I was always in front of a camera doing public speaking. Heck, I got something coming up, right? In August. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got something coming up in Atlanta. Yeah, in Atlanta. So I'll be speaking on stage in front of thousands of people, talking about what I do.
Okay. Do you ever plan on getting an auntie?
For you? Huh?
for the house in general to help around?
Well, first of all, I got YouTube followers and some in the United States, so you probably got to explain to them what an auntie is.
Okay, so here in South Africa, it's very common for people to have an auntie that helps around at home. They'll cook, sometimes clean, or help raise the children.
Yeah, so really, that's up to your mom, man. I don't really run that stuff. If she want one, I asked her one time. I said, "Did she need help around the house?" I asked her. She's like, "Oh, I got it right now." She said, "I just choose to do it myself. Maybe maybe one day we'll hire somebody." So I guess I'll leave it to your mom. I have no plans of anything personally. I just kind of let your mom handle all that stuff.
Okay. What is one South African food you look forward to trying, if you have any?
Well, if everybody keep watching, I think next week I'm gonna be trying it all because you know me, Malcolm. I eat whatever, bro.
You want to try that cow head, don't you?
I'm gonna eat that.
The pop.
Oh, I mean everything, bro.
I want to try.
What is the one with the worms?
I have no idea what it's called.
Man,
No,
I eat whatever, bro. Everywhere I travel, I like to eat what the locals eat. So I don't have anything that I'm just definitely looking forward to because one thing about South Africa, the food is good. So I would suspect that all of it's good. Now I take that back, not all of it, because I was at some place at Monte Casino
Mm-hmm.
and I tried their tripe. It was like in a stew. Now I normally like tripe. That tripe, I have to admit, that one I couldn't eat. I just couldn't eat. I tried. I ate about 3 or 4 spoonfuls just to try and make sure, try it. I tried, but I just couldn't do it. But but everything else, man, I eat it. It don't matter.
Okay, and the last question I have for you. You can choose if you wish to answer this one or not. What did you think about the Martian March, the 30th of June thing?
Ooh. As an African American, I can say I don't see us truly affected. I don't want to say I don't understand because I'd be not all the way honest. So I can't say I don't understand because I can understand the fear and how employment here is not, I'll say, we call unemployment in America bad. The unemployment problems here are probably a lot worse. It's probably not even on the same scale, especially for Black folks. So for the locals, I can't say I don't understand. But from a long-term perspective, I can't say I all the way agree.
Okay.
And I can honestly say that because after traveling around the world and being in so many places, politically educated, I'll say that because I was in politics. You probably knew that, Malcolm, but you weren't around when I was in politics. And understanding the dynamics of politics and understand who controls what, that part makes it hard for me to totally agree because I can't really say a guy from Mozambique is causing problems. He's not causing an unemployment problem. But that's me on the outside looking in. And like I said, I'm trying not to get too political because I'm not here for that. I'm not a citizen of South Africa or anything like that. So I respect what, people do and why and their understanding behind things. But I can't possibly see how somebody with a little shop could be affecting employment. First of all, he's a shop owner. So it's not like he's taken a job. He came and created one. He just created one for himself.
Right.
And sure, he could do that at home too. And he's probably is. Except the only problem is that's one less, I think it's Spaza shop. Is that what they call it? Spaza? Sure. What are the little shops they call them?
The tuck shops?
Okay, maybe a tuck shop then. I can't see how that's going to affect employment. If you get 15,000, I don't even like to call them foreigners, other Africans to leave. If you ain't created 15,000 jobs behind it, Does that mean it had no effect? So, from a political standpoint, I don't have a dog in this fight. And like I said, I respect the South Africans, and I can't say I don't understand because it can look that way. But man, when you look at geopolitics and you really study politics and you see how the real force behind it all, the real force of the people who controlling jobs, economies, not just in South Africa, around the world, including America. Mm-hmm. When I go to countries like Guyana, I know who's got the least amount of employment. And that country's 50-50. I mean, it's 50-50 as, as far as population. There's the Indo-Guyanese and the Afro-Guyanese. But it's mighty funny that the Afro-Guyanese got the least amount of employment. And it's not because the guy from Venezuela crossed the border. Right. That has to do with who is controlling the whole overall employment. I mean, because, like I said, you asked a deep question. And I hope no one's offended, especially on your channel. My channel don't matter, I can just shut it down. Right. But it's just the truth, man. I don't know if I all the way agree. I listen to Walter Maya, and I'm sure a lot of people out there know Walter Maya because he's one of the biggest YouTubers in all of Africa. And when he says a borderless Africa, I get it. It makes sense. Because, man, you go to Europe, you just cross over. I don't care if you're Italian, if you from UK, none of that even matters. And they just cross the border freely. And here, it's like you fighting across the border. Right. And it's like you could speak the same language and everything. You could, but yet still you got to have a visa to cross the border and a passport just to go to Namibia. And look at who those street names are after in Namibia. Those are Germans. Why is it I got to have a passport and my ancestors are from here? Why is it? And I'm speaking as if I were a South African. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, I'm black myself. I know my ancestry is from African, so I kind of feel that way about me too. It's like, why? Why is it as a black man I can go to Europe and I can cross all their borders? Why is it I can do it there, but I can't do it in a country where everybody looks like me, where people speak to me in their language, in their native tongue, because they don't know that I'm not from there. Mm-hmm. But when I go to Europe, I can just cross whenever I feel like it, because they don't treat the borders the same. They want economies to move, and they want to make sure that they stay on top financially. Africa's got to get there. I think it will, but of course it's going to be the younger people who look at it differently. Right. Just like South Africans came out of apartheid. They'll get through this part too. I mean, it is expected to be, I think about 2050, 1 in 4, I believe, are supposed to be African around the world. Right. That's huge, man. That's huge. So they ain't gonna have a choice eventually. And then another thing, how you gonna do the African Free Trade Agreement if you telling people they gotta have visas and passports every time they cross? I don't even know how you do that. Even Malcolm, back in the 90s, early 90s, we had the North America Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. And here I am, a black man, and I can go to Mexico and come back from Mexico. I didn't even need a passport, and they speak in Spanish. Right. So why I got to do it in Africa? It don't even make sense. And we can cross the border in Canada. I mean, since the new president came in office, he decided to switch things up a little bit. But you see what he thinks. I mean, look at who he was inviting over in America. He invited white South Africans only. So if people don't understand what's going on, then I'm gonna be honest, we're kind of tripping, man. I mean, he invite white South Africans only. A clear statement: white South Africans only. I'm gonna kick everybody else out, but if you white and you South African, you can come in. Mm-hmm. That's deep.
Well, Dad, is there anything you would like to say before we end this video?
Man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody in South Africa for being here, welcoming us. Everywhere we go, we are shown love. And I appreciate all of you guys for showing us love. It doesn't matter what part of Johannesburg we're in. It don't matter what tribe you come from. It seems like we're welcome to all the tribes, and I appreciate it. Even the white South Africans. I mean, we welcome, and I think it's because of Malcolm, how you come off. You feel at home and you treat everybody. Hey, we love everybody, and It's the same here. So I got mad love. I'm not gonna say I'm pro-black. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm not. I'm pro-black. There's no doubt about it. So if you had to ask me who I'm for first, I'm for my people first. Pro-black, and it don't matter if you're from Mozambique, Nigeria. It don't matter if you're from South Africa. It don't matter if you're from Somalia. It don't matter if you're from Egypt, Kenya. It don't matter. I'm pro-black. So I'm black first, African American, FBA, whatever you want to call yourselves, the Guyanese black folks, the Brazilian black folks, the Colombian black folks, the Dominican black folks, black, 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 black. That's all I got.
Well, everybody, go make sure to follow Buckner Family Travels on YouTube if you want to keep up more with my father. And y'all already know where I am. But yeah, my father's name is Darren Buckner once again. And shout out to Guyana Home Hub. Right now, my father is making a company. Wait, maybe I should let you explain that yourself.
Well, you know how in South Africa they have Property 24. In America they have, what is it, Zillow? Zillow. And in China, they got Fang. So all the big countries, all the countries that are more developed economies, you guys have those platforms. Where I'm a developer, and what I've done is I decided to go to all the places that companies like Zillow have abandoned. And I created an app that allows us to launch in, I think our next country will be Dominican Republic, Colombia, but our flagship country is Guyana. So we went to Guyana in South America, part of the Caribbean, and we launched Guyana Home Hub. So basically you can go on, buy, sell, rent properties. Agents can go on and show their properties that are in Guyana. If you're Dominican Republic, you'll be able to do it probably in the next month. Colombia, probably in the next 2 months. And basically, we're just going to all the places that, those other folks forgot. So definitely check it out. I don't mind if you guys go in to Apple or what's the other one? Google Play Store. And if you type in Guyana Home Hub, you'll see it. Download it. Give it some star rankings. Help a brother out, share it. You might know a few people from Guyana. Even if you're not from Guyana, go ahead and download it anyway. That way we got plenty of people followers, okay? So that's pretty much it. Thanks for that shout out, Mel.
Everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Love y'all so much. And I hope y'all have a blessed day.
Peace.